The voyage of the Argo is incredible, full of adventures, and also it has Medea, so that's immediately a plus. Written by Apollonius of Rhodes, who wasn't actually from Rhodes, and a beloved epic ever since. The only piece of information beforehand you need is the story of Phrixus and Hels, his sister, who, thanks to Hermes, escaped sacrifice and flew away on a golden ram. Hels unfortunately died at the Hellespont, named after her ever since. But Phrixus flew to Colchis. There the sheep was sacrificed, and the fleece has been given to King Aeetes in exchange for the hand of his daughter Chalciope. It has been there ever since. Okay, quick myth over, let's go on a journey. The Voyage of Argo by Apollonius of Rhodes, Book 1. It was King Pelias that sent them out. Thanks to the oracle, he was scared of a man who was said to bring him death. Man who comes to him with 1 foot bare. And here we meet Jason, who, unfortunately, walked to Pelias exactly like that, losing one of his sandals in the mud. And so Pelias, instead of straight up killing him, decided to send him on a grand adventure, hoping that he would never be seen again. A ship was built by Argos with the help of Athena herself. Here is some of the crew that will be important. There is many more that are not that prominent, but they are cool and may show up. Theseus was stuck in the underworld, and Apollonius sadly said no to Atalanta. All of these heroes are going on a quest with a single goal: retrieve the Golden Fleece from King Aeetes of Colchis and bring it back to Hellas. Jason said goodbye to his mother and went to the beach where he addressed his crew. They needed to choose their leader out of all of them. All naturally turned to Heracles, but as a true bro that Heracles is, he turned to Jason. He assembled them, he should be their leader. They took Argo to the sea and prepared a sacrifice to Apollo. Trust me, this is one of many. But in this one, Idmon, our local prophet, is like, Jason, you will come back home with the fleece, Apollo is happy with you, but I will die. But I'm coming anyway, it's gonna be epic. Like the written epic, get it? They chose their benches on the ship, and at dawn they sailed with all the gods watching them. Even Chiron with baby Achilles in his arms watched his father sail away. Leaving Pelion, they traveled past many places, stopping on shore during some nights, until they made their way to the island of Lemnos. There, the previous year, the women of the island slaughtered every male inhabitant, and every girl their husbands brought into exchange for their boring wives. Only Hypsipyle spared her father, the king of the island, Thoas, hiding him in a chest and drifting him out to the sea. These women lived in fear of the Thracians, and when they saw Argo approach, they were terrified that the Thracians finally came for them. They suited up, ready to attack. But Aethalides traveled there first alone, asking for permission for Argo to dock, which they got. I guess it's the charm of the son of the trickster god. Anyway, the women of the island called on a meeting. The Argonauts could stay on the beach, but if they let them into the city, they would realize what they did to their husbands. That's not good. But the elder of the women, Polyxo, thought otherwise. She was like, yes, but also we may need kids to continue this life on this island. Let's invite them over to just mingle a bit, you know what I mean. The women agreed and Jason was invited as the rest of the crew. Jason entered the palace of Hypsipyle, where she told him of what has happened to the men. Oh, the tragedy! They migrated to Thrace. After all, they only cared about the girls they brought from that place anyway, and not their actual wives. So the wives closed the gates behind them and sent them to Thrace forever. No murder happened here, no sir. Hypsipyle basically offered Jason to stay with her and the other Argonauts too, and settle in the city. Jason declined this and only asked for provisions. Really flattered, but they ought to continue on their journey. That didn't stop them from having a fun night though with the women. And actually they all got a little bit into it, Jason too. Only Heracles stayed by the ship, and after a few days he was like, alright gang, we have to go, otherwise the only thing Jason is gonna be known for is repopulating Lemnos and not getting the Golden Fleece. And so they said their goodbyes with empty promises mixed in and departed. They stopped by many more places on their voyage until they passed the Hellespont. After some time they landed in the land of the Doliones with their young king Cyzicus, who kindly received the Argonauts with dinner and stories to tell. But oh no! There were monsters in this land, furious men with 6 arms, who threatened to block the harbor by throwing giant rocks at it. Heracles waited for nothing and started shooting the monsters down with his bow, and quickly after that the other Argonauts joined him and killed them all. Argonauts sailed away from there, but thanks to the unfriendly winds they landed on the same island during the night, not realizing it's the same place. Unfortunately, neither did the Doliones recognize their earlier guests. They thought the ship was attacking them, and so they attacked first. Cyzicus, the king himself, was killed by Jason, and he wasn't the only one. In the morning, they all realized the error they just made, and the mourning for the king and the men began. For 12 days it stormed, and they couldn't leave afterwards anyway. The Argonauts had to sacrifice to Rhea on Mount Dindymum or no adventure. Gods were just like that sometimes. When they did that, Rhea was satisfied and they departed on safe waters. On the way, Heracles broke his oar though, and he needed a new one. They landed for the night, and he tore out a pine to make it into a new oar. Hylas, his helper, went to fetch water for him, but went to the spring just as the nymphs were around. One of the nymphs was overcome by desire for the boy and took him under the water. Only one cry could be heard, alerting Polyphemus, one of the Argonauts, who fetched Heracles. But there was no saving Hylas. Heracles was so upset that he ran away, and in the morning the Argonauts first sailed on without them. But the rest of the crew was like, no way we can survive without Heracles, and as they were preparing to turn the Argo around, Glaucus, messenger of the sea god Nereus, appeared. Heracles won't sail to Colchis, and Hylas has been wedded to the nymph. No arguments allowed. And so Argo sailed on with them gone. As they continued their journey, they soon landed on a wide beach in the land of King Amycus.